Snoozer here at Gossip of Shows, find your own voice, lead from within. So the topic today is healing before dating. Why wholeness matters more than ever. In today's world, where relationships are often rushed and feelings are easily shared but rarely processed and, and rarely processed. More people are starting to realize something important. You can't build a healthy relationship on broken foundation. Before giving your heart to someone else, it is crucial to spend time healing your own. Whether it's from past heartbreaks, whether it's from childhood wounds or personal insecurity, doing the inner work allows you to show up as your best, most authentic self. This growing movement is choosing therapy, self-reflection, and emotional growth before committing to reshaping how we view love. Because the truth is, love doesn't fix everything, but healing does. So, number one, guys, you have to acknowledge the pain you've been carrying. If you don't acknowledge the pain, you pass the pain to your relationship. We often minimize or suppress emotional wounds from past relationship, from childhood or abandonment. But what you don't acknowledge still drives your decision. Healing brings where you stop pretending to be fine and admit I'm still hurt. That honestly opens doors to change. Um, it's important, guys, to be honest with your feelings. Identify the pattern, not just pattern. If your relationship keeps ending the same way, with a heartbreak, betrayal, ghosting, or drama, it's not just about the people you're dating. Patterns often point to subconscious wounds. The goal is not to shame yourself, but to say, what am I reconnecting? What needs to be unlearned? So it's really, really important. Look at what you settled for. And also the people that we date. Many people stay in toxic, unfulfilling relationship out of fear of being alone, fear of not finding that someone better, or fear of starting over. But healing helps you to see that you should never cost yourself respect or inner peace. Settling is often a trauma response. Healing teaches you to expect more. You deserve more in life. Some people, they fear the people, that people are going to judge them. Guys, it doesn't matter whether people are going to judge you. Whether you do the right things, the people will always judge. So see what you've lost yourself. When you shrink, silence your truth, or twist yourself to keep someone's love, you've abandoned yourself. Healing involves reclaiming those lost pieces. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to be fully you. You don't have to disappear to the light. It's important, guys, when you're dating or when you're going through healing, um, not to blame anyone, because when we are healing, we are rewriting our story. When you are rewriting your story, it's where you look at your life and see your life. For me, guys, you see me, I'm cleansing. I'm on 600 days or 601 weekdays of cleansing myself, cleansing my life. It's not an easy journey to sit there and to evaluate your life. I sat there, I come from a royal family. I'm going to tell my story. So coming from a royal family, I had to look at myself and ask myself, well, if my family come from a royal family, so what kind of battles that are unseen that am I fighting in my relationship, in my finances, in my leadership, in every area of my life. What kind of trauma am I carrying as a human being? I had to be honest. But when I began, before I began my fast, everything was invisible. But when I began my journey, this is when I realized actually I am fighting the battles that my family have ignored, the battles that my grandparents have ignored, the battles that my ancestors have ignored. I was now facing them. Do you think my relationship can stand a chance? If I have those battles, invisible battles, as a human being, do you think I have a standing chance of my relationship standing if I have those battles that are fighting me, the battles, the unfinished business, the things that were left behind were not settled. They ignored and settled the things that our ancestors pretended that they never existed, but they decided to start a new chapter. But that life still exists in spirit. That life is crying for somebody to notice it, to acknowledge it, meaning that my siblings have no peace when they want to get married. So those are the things that the kind of trauma that you need to look at when things are not working, when life does not make sense, when the world doesn't make sense, when many enters your life and tell you that you are not good enough. You don't fight, you don't chase after them. But you sit down, evaluate your life, and ask yourself, what do I need to fix in order for me to move forward? But for me, it was then I had to realize that actually I have battles that I need to fight, invisible battles. I do not want to be in a relationship where I'm getting depressed every single day, where I ignore who I am. I can't ignore my identity. As much as the other people would like to say, no, sir, you can ignore everything and pretend that everything has never happened and move on your life. Enjoy life with your children. Enjoy life with your husband and pretend that nothing has ever happened. I was never going to do that. So I don't know what you are facing, guys, in your relationship. I don't know the dating when before you what wounds do you have to deal with before you go on dating. When you shrink, understand the loneliness isn't a curse. The loneliness, guys, when you are lonely, that's where God comes in. You need God. When you're feeling lonely, you need God. So you can't get lonely with God. So God is for those, that's God's job to take that loneliness. Most people date because they hate being alone. But loneliness has wisdom. It shows you the part of yourself you've avoided. It forces you to sit with the silence where old wounds live. Healing turns lonely into solitude, and solitude into power. Choose wholeness over destruction. Sometimes we distract ourselves because we want to date for the sake of dating. Stop using relationship to avoid yourself. Jumping from one person to the next without healing is like slapping a bandage on a deep wound. Relationship becomes a distraction from emotional pain. Healing invites you to stop running and face yourself with compassion and criticism, not criticism. So it's important when you stop everything and say, you know what? I need to evaluate my life. So, guys, that's what, for me personally, that's what I had to do. I had to evaluate my life. Where my life is, where is it going? If I'm coming from a royal family, who do I need to be in my identity? Who I need to become? Who am I supposed to become? What kind of a man do I need to be? Does that man need to lead in my life? What kind of man do I need to date? Of course, I don't have authority for that, but God, that's where God comes in. We can do anything, guys. We can run from our problems, but our problems will always be there. For me, I was the chosen to be sacrificed. And being chosen to be sacrificed, then I asked God, then what now? God, for me, it was for me to really understand my identity without judging myself, without stressing. I don't stress, guys, without having to stress, but facing the truth. And when I had to realize that I come from a royal family is when I realized that my family had faced so much pain. Some of you may expect me to realize that I was a princess, I was a blah, blah, blah. No. I realized that my family kept so much pain in their heart, and that pain is manifesting. The secret is manifesting. The pain, when someone goes through pain, they leave their throne behind. They no longer, their identity was rewritten, taken away from them. They had to go and live a different life that never existed, a life that they had to forget everything. That's pain. So I had to face that. But then I had to face ancestors. Who are you? You are a woman. You think you can enter our territory? And I was like, I'm not interested in entering your territory. I'm just interested to cleanse my family, to take away the pain. I cannot have peace, guys. I'm just sharing you as an example that even if I want to have peace, I cannot have peace if I had ignored my problems. Not dealing with those problems, it would have caused so much pain because my family went so much pain. I wouldn't have been having to have peace in my marriage. And peace is what I gave myself. Peace is what God gave me. By acknowledging that God, we have sinned against you. That is trauma, guys. My family were traumatized. Imagine the man that wants to marry me if I have so much the package that I don't know, the pain that my family went through. When someone decides to recreate their identity, to live who they are and go and live a different life, go to a different country, live a different life and pretend that nothing has ever happened is pain. So I had to rewrite that story to say I acknowledge the pain my family went through. And I had to carry that pain. So I don't know what you guys, the family history, I don't know what you guys have gone through. Relationship-wise, I don't know what you guys have gone through. When it comes to life, dating, growing up with parents, I don't know what you guys went through. I don't know. But all I can tell you is I had to deal with my own trauma. And people had to say Nomsa has gone mad, but God said, Nomsa, you take you face you have to face the truth. I had to face the truth. I had to face who am I as a family? Who am I in my bloodline? I had to face that truth. You know what is amazing? Is when I get up in the morning, when I have peace in my life, when my children have peace, it's the most thing that is amazing because I'm no longer hiding who I am. I'm living in truth, no longer hiding. to people pretending that, oh, I come from this one, I come from this one, but not knowing my true identity. My ancestors came from originally from Kenya and Nigeria and Sierra Leone. They lived the life, they enjoyed their life until trauma presented itself. They were forced to go and live a different life, and they did. That left pain in my family. No one ever spoke about it. That left pain. So it's important, guys, to deal with your trauma. When things are not working, don't say, you know, these men are the same. They're not the same. We come from different bloodlines. Some bloodline, people are holy. Their ancestors went to church. Their grandparents went to church. Their ancestors were pastors. Their grandparents are pastors. Their parents are pastors. And they are pastors. So you see, they are holy. There are some people who are holy, but there are some who are facing challenges, like me. So it's important to work on your, ask what am I expecting them to fix? Do you expect a partner to make you feel worthy? I have to make myself feel worthy, and that is job 2. Or do you expect them to make you feel safe? Calm your anxiety. If you have anxiety, that's not their job. Those are inner ones. Healing helps you to stop outsourcing yourself and take responsibility for your emotional well-being, guys. I was a woman who expected a man to enter my life, make me feel good. If I did not feel good, that man was not good enough for me. But through that journey, I realized that no man will ever make me feel good. I have to feel good myself. I have to allow myself to feel good by loving myself, accepting myself for who I am as a person. When the man enters my life, I have to share that love that I found within me. It's sharing, it's all about sharing. But if a man demands to a woman to make them feel good, that means they have trauma in their life. I've been told by many that, Momsa, we are not compatible. You know what? Because you are a Christian, this God business, it doesn't work for me. So we are not compatible. So therefore, the man is dealing with the trauma. These men have their own trauma, but they are finding something to blame on Momsa. And I had to look at myself and say, you know what? I have to deal with my baggage. I'm a relationship coach, guys. I had to deal with my baggage. And when you deal with your baggage is when you know the pain that people have to go through. Because for me, I'm no longer pretending. I'm no longer wanting someone to give me love. I've got that love for myself. I've got love from God. I'm sharing. I'm sharing love with somebody, not wanting that person to make me feel special. Make me feel special, honey. Go buy me present. They'll make me feel good. I'll understand my love language. My love language is love. If you tell me you love me and you're faking it, that's not, I feel it in spirit. So my love language is love because I feel you in spirit. When you say you love me, when you say you want to be with me, I feel you in spirit. If I can't feel you in spirit, if I feel cold, if I feel trauma, if I feel anxiety, that means you have to deal with your trauma. Some people have not dealt with their trauma because trauma sometimes, like Grant was saying yesterday, that sometimes trauma comes from the womb. That's true. A child inherited their father's blood, and then they inherit their mother's spirit. So for me, I had to deal with the trauma in my family, both sides, my mother's side and my father's side. Some people may say, oh no, we don't have trauma, we don't have this. Guys, sometimes trauma does not manifest in other generation, but it manifests to some generation. So for me, I don't know what you have to face. For me, I had to face the reality of my family. Having to live a different life that they were not. But now knowing that I come from a royal family, it gives me peace. It doesn't give me, the feeling is not I'm special. The feeling is I'm glad that I found out the truth about my family. My granddad was on the throne anyway, on my daddy's side, but I didn't realize my father's uncle. So all those things is the things that you have to, as a person, you have to realize it, and you have to work on that trauma, and recognize trauma bonding as well is important. Sometimes we confuse intensity and with the trauma bonding. We feel addicted to someone who's unhealthy for us. That's not love. With trauma bond is often mirrors painful dynamics from childhood. Healing breaks the chemical addictions to chaos and teaching you that love isn't supposed to hurt. Love is meant to be free. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday. So he was saying he just fell in love with this beautiful woman, and he was telling me that, Nemsa, um, do you like the girl? I was like, yeah, take it easy. So I said to him, take it easy. And he was like, I'm trying not to spend so much time with her, because if I spend so much time, that's when I mess things up. I was like, you see, in your heart, you already have this thing of I mess things up. Guys, if you spend 24/7 with your girlfriend, what happened? You get to decide what you want. You get to decide how you want to live your life. Love does not mean to be hard. God is spending 24/7 with us. He doesn't get fed up on us. On us. It's the gratitude. Where there is no gratitude, love has to have gratitude in it. It has to have this beautiful gratitude where you look at your woman and say, you know what, I am so grateful that I met you. And there is no place I'd rather be right now than be with you. Even when the challenges comes, be able to remind you that gratitude, that I am so blessed. I feel so blessed. I feel so honored to be having this woman as my wife. I feel so honored to have this husband as my husband. I feel so honored to have children with this beautiful man. I feel so honored to have children with this beautiful woman. Always see beauty in what you have. When you don't see the beauty, that's when you destroy. But it's important to see the love that God has given you, to cherish it, not to have these big expectations about people. When somebody meets someone, they have these big expectations that they want this person to be this, but they are not. What you want it to be that first. If you want to be president, you want your woman to behave like a president, be the president first. So all these things, guys, they are important. You become, if you want your husband to be that, you become that. You cannot make demands of the things that you are not. And judging is when we spend time, God gives us the blessings. But instead of us enjoying those blessings, we spend time attacking each other. We spend time fighting each other. And what's the point of living this earth if you're not going to enjoy what you have? If you're not going to enjoy the man, of course, the relationship comes with challenges. Of course, life is not easy. Of course, it's not easy living with somebody, but everything comes down to gratitude, guys. Gratitude is the most critical component of how your tomorrow is going to look like with your husband, with your man. If you get married to that person, it's the gratitude where you have to look at the steps. You know what? This person entered my life and they chose to be with me. They could have chosen other people, but they chose to be with me. So I'm going to honor them. I'm going to love them. It's all about honoring God. People say, I have to be this, I have to be that, I have to be that, my wife has to be that. But you don't. People complicate life. Life is very simple. Very, very, very simple. There are some things that people, if the alignment is not there, the relationship doesn't work. But if from the beginning, if you have chosen that person from the beginning, the alignment is there. Why not build that alignment? Build it. When you build it, put gratitude in it. Remember, the foundation of a relationship, it needs to be nurtured. So the nature, when you nurture that relationship, guys, some people have, they're like, oh, we can have sex, we can be closer together, we can have this. Whatever you do, if it has no gratitude in it, it will not stand. If it has no God in it, it will not stand, guys. I don't care what you guys say. There are some people who have been married for 40 years, 50 years. And all those people you hear them is God bless you. God bless you. They believe that there is someone higher than them out there. Someone who has stood by them for their marriage to stand. And those people, their marriage stand. Because when they enter a relationship, they know that love is about an understanding, putting your egos away, and going through this journey of the unexpected. Because life can hit you with things. Life hit me with a sacrifice. But the man that I was in my life, he could not stand. He could not stand the trial when Lucifer was testing him. He could not stand. He could not stand when Lucifer was testing him as a man. He couldn't stand. But for me, as a woman who comes from a family, I come from Africa myself. I don't do baby men. So as a man, you have to be strong. For me, as a woman, when I'm going through pain, if I'm going through pain, and you're telling me that I've gone insane, so that means to me, you have to understand that when someone is going through trauma, guys, you don't judge me. You say, I don't understand, but I'll stand by you. But for me, that stand by you is what I couldn't get. When I was telling everyone what I was going through, people were calling me insanity. But the fun thing is, guys, the most painful thing that I have never ever realized as a human being is that my family get to witness the truth. They'll get to witness the truth that she did indeed go through human blood sacrifice. They'll get to witness it. So it's important when I'm sharing this with you guys because there are some women out there. You want to enter a relationship, you shrink yourself, you want to fit in, you want everybody to like you. You want this man to like you, to want to, like, you look at yourself, you're like, I'm not going to find another man because this man we've been together for 10 years or for 20 years. So if now this man does not accept me, so I have to try to fit in, so this man is going to like me. And this woman does not like me, so I have to try to shrink. try to fit in and do whatever it takes for that woman to like me. It doesn't work like that. A woman has to naturally love you for you. Naturally, they have to love you for you. A man has to naturally want to be with you and say to you and look at you in the eyes and say, this is a place I'd rather be. I don't want to be with someone else. I want to be with you. And that is the beauty of love. That is not force. That comes natural. So if you've gone through trauma and worried about being rejected, release the fantasy of rescue. No partner will ever save you. They won't save you from pain. The fantasy is someone healing you, understanding you every wound. Fixing your life is comforting, but unrealistic healing is an inside job. A partner can support you, but they can't rebuild you. That's your scared job. That's your work that you need to work. Realizing that the true love requires emotional availability. Your spouse have to be available. If you're still guarded, triggered, projected by past wounds, you may not emotionally be available for love. Emotional availability means being in the present, being vulnerable and capable of receiving love. Without fear or sabotage, healing brings you there. It takes you there where you need to be. So it's important, guys. You've watched my journey going through healing. There were times where I didn't feel confident. So go to the roots, not to the symptoms. Clinginess, avoidance, people pleasing. These are symptoms of deeper wounds. Instead of managing behavior, healings ask, where did this start? Often it's like early rejection, abandonment, and unmet need. The roots must be healed, not just the behavior. So sometimes unmet needs can come from our parents. If your parents have divorced, it can affect your relationship. If you've been abandoned by one parent, maybe father goes away, it can cause the roots of you needing healing. Sit with your trigger instead of running from them. Triggers are teachers. When something upset you, pause and ask, what wounds is this poking at? Instead of blaming others. Healing invites you to turn inwards and gentle, explore where the reaction comes from. Some people help others when they blame others when they're going through pain. They blame others. Rewrite the story you've been told. Maybe that story that you've been told, you are unlovable, you are too sensitive, not enough, or you are too much. These narratives become eternal truth until we challenge them. Healing involves reauthorizing, like involves reauthoring your story. I am worthy. I'm not a burden. I'm lovable as I am. I was told myself that when I decided to go through the journey of understanding who I am, I was told that I was too much. So I had to rewrite my story. But for me, it wasn't me receiving that message as me, I'm too much. It was me asking myself, what do I need to do for me? Where do I go from here? Being told that I'm too much. Where do I go? But then I realized that Satan did not want me to find my identity. He was using people around me to put me in a box. Because Satan uses spiritually intelligence. So spiritually intelligent, it means he can use anyone around you to put you in a box. For me, it was then where I had to surrender to God and say, God, I don't know who I am supposed to be. I don't know what my tomorrow is going to look like. But all I know is that I'm not going All I know is my tomorrow cannot be dark. My tomorrow cannot be best. Help me, walk with me, and show me who I'm supposed to be. Because at this moment, I have no idea who I'm supposed to be. You see, I've not thought about what people have said. I'm walking in this path and I'm asking God to show me the way. What am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be doing? And that was then that they had to show me my true identity. And my true identity, I was no longer going to compromise, because for who I become, my relationship is not important to who I become. What is important is my identity, me building my identity, not me trying to fit in and going to someone and say, okay, you said I'm too much. So how would I shrink myself to make you happy? It was me then saying, you know what? I welcome every critiques that people are saying about me. But at this moment, my life was dark. At that moment, my life was dark. I was looking for answers for me to know who I am. All I needed was support for people to stand by me and say, Namsa, we're here for you. We don't understand, but we're here for you. Because that's what love is, guys. When someone asks you to shrink, when someone tells you that you're not good enough, that's not love. Love comes natural. It's to say, okay, I don't understand what you're going through. I don't understand what you've been through. But all I can say is I'm here for you if you need me. Tell me how to support you. Not to tell me that I'm too much. Not to tell me, because even myself, I couldn't understand who I am. So in dating, things show up like this. I'm sharing with you guys because there are people who are facing things like this and they give up everything about themselves, about who they are. They chase relationship becomes a priority. And when that relationship ends, like, hang on a minute, I gave everything. I gave up everything for you. There are no guarantees for tomorrow. So don't compromise your life for somebody else. There are no guarantees that tomorrow that person will stand with you. There are no guarantees. You're not chasing anything, but be who you are. If you like the kind of food that you eat, why changing that food to please someone? The kind of clothes you like to wear, why changing them to please someone? Just go to a journey where you stand still. You say to God, I don't know who I'm supposed to be, but guide me through life. That was my declaration to God, that I get told that I'm too much. And inside, I was so scared. I didn't know how my tomorrow was going to look like. I didn't know. But for me to date, I had to go through healing. I didn't have to listen to the voices, what I've been told. I had to rewrite my story. How do I want my tomorrow to look like? How do I want to tell my story to people? Nomsa does not do the talking. What Nomsa does, Nomsa shows the character. Nomsa does the doing. I do the doing, I don't talk. When you see me talking, like I fast, when I get to 600 days, this is when I tell my story. When I get to 1,000 days, I tell my story. 800 days, 700 days, I tell my story. I do the work. So I don't know what your story is, guys. I don't know. But all I know is rewrite your story that you've been told. Learn to self-soothe. If your peace depends on how someone else treats you, you are in emotional danger. Healing teaches you to hold yourself through anxiety, through rejection, When people reject you, that's where you hold all through fear. You learn to give yourself what you always needed from others. You give yourself comfort. You give yourself reassurance. You give yourself presence. Validate your own emotions. When you've been ignored or validated, you may doubt your own feelings. Healing restores that inner trust. You stop gaslighting yourself and start saying, it's okay to feel like this. My emotions are real. I don't need permission to exist. For me, I came to understand that I don't need permission to exist to no one. Forgive yourself for not knowing better soon. I have to forgive myself for not knowing who I'm supposed to be. Healing is not forgiving others, it's for forgiving you for tolerating what you didn't deserve, for not living sooner, for losing yourself in someone else. You did your best with what you knew, and now you know better. Reparent, like reparent your inner child. Much of our adult dysfunctioning is our inner child crying out, see me, choose me, love me. What happens when you ignore your inner child? It cries out. Your inner child cries out, needing you to actually acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge who you are, this is when some people they choose not to acknowledge themselves. But you have to acknowledge yourself. Because when your inner child is crying out, it means it needs to be acknowledged. It means it needs you to know that, oh yes, I love you. That's what I actually came to understand. That when you go through something, you go through pain, people have lots to say, guys. Some may say she wants attention. Some may say, oh, she's jealous. Some may say, oh, she's this, she's that. But it's you, only you, who knows what you truly want in life. What you truly desire in life. It's you who knows who you are as a person. People may not know who you are. Like myself, I think people, when they look at me, they say, oh, Nomsa talks. Nomsa doesn't talk. I don't talk much. Like I said to you, I grew up with my dad. My mom's family had no clue with my character. They just thought that Nomsa is just an ordinary person who is just, but they had no idea because I don't talk about myself. I don't see it's necessary for me to actually talk about my life, like talk about who I am, what I can do. When I'm meeting people, I like to know them. What makes them who they are? It's fun. So that's me. That's the importance of life. And I'm trying to share this video, guys. So that is important. But to heal your inner child, if you go through pain, heal your inner child. I have gone through my life healing my inner child and having to deal with the other things that I ever had to deal with when it comes to Satan and all those things. And then I came to one conclusion, that Satan's job is to box people. People believe, he makes people believe that they are something that they are not. His job is to pin people down. That's his job. And he uses people around you to pin you down. That's what he does. Oh, why would you like to take that? Why would you like to do that? Oh, don't worry, you don't have to do that. You don't have to. You could do better things and things like that. Oh, yeah, that's what Satan does. But it's important, guys, to make sure that you live your life based on what you want to do in life, not what you are expected to do. If you do things because people expect you to do that, it's misery. So you have to do what you have to do. for me, is all about just living my life, accepting that life at that moment, but knowing that my life is more than that. For me, that's important. When I know that my life is more than that, when I know that I'm capable of doing what I'm doing, that's what I need in life. But I get problems when people box me and say I'm not good enough. So if I'm not good enough for you, I'm like, I'm not supposed to be good enough for you. I'm supposed to be there, share my happiness with you. That's what a relationship with God is for. When you are with someone, you share the love, you share your happiness with them. Otherwise, you have to, that's what love is. Share your happiness, the happiness that you find, you share it with people. That's that we're meant to live. Share our happiness with with our spouse. Share our happiness with our children. We're not meant to hurt each other, but we do go around and hurting each other, and we cause pain to each other. And that's like we don't appreciate this life that God has given us. For me, I had to acknowledge those kind of things. That God, I'm sorry that I don't appreciate the people around me. And I'm sorry that I don't appreciate the money that comes into my life. So I had to learn this the hard way. That in order for me to be happy, I have to acknowledge what is in front of me. Because if I don't, and that's when I had to reparent my inner child. His healing is learning how to be parent you didn't have, nurturing self, validating consistency, bringing profound self-compassion and emotional security, detach love from pain. If love is always come with betrayal, criticism, abandonment, your brain associates love with suffering. Healing teaches your nervous system in your truth. Love can be safe, love can be calm, love doesn't have no height. Creating wholeness before connection is important. Define what a healthy love looks like. When you don't copy someone else's relationship standard. If you watch someone on social media or you read someone's book, define your own best emotional needs, life value, and relationship goals. Healing gives you clarity on what aligns with your truth. What is your truth? Learn difference between standard and a wall. The wall says no one gets in. Standard says only the right people stay. Healing allows you to protect yourself without isolating yourself. You become open but discerning. You become open to everyone. Get comfortable being alone. When you heal, when you go through healing, solitude isn't scary. It becomes secret. You no longer chase connection out of desperation. You choose it with wisdom. You don't meet someone you want someone who complements your peace. And that person does that complement your peace. What I have learned is when you ask God and say, God, take over my situation, God is the universe. Universe is God. When you say, take over my situation, God does such a man for you. He is such a good woman for you. Fall in love with your life first. Before inviting someone into your life, make a space for your love. Healing inspires you to build a life filled with purpose, life filled with peace and pleasure. So relationships are an enhancement, not an escape. Knowing when you're ready, know when you're ready to love, when you're ready to date. You are no longer dating to fill a void. You've met yourself. You've held your own heart. You held your own world. You're no longer looking for someone to fulfill you. You are looking to share you're looking to share your world with someone who is already free to, someone who appreciates you, someone who honors you, A man has to honor his wife. A husband, a wife has to honor his woman. So you're no longer looking to someone who tells you that you're not good enough. You recognize the red flags without excusing them. You're no longer romanticizing or dysfunction. When someone crosses a boundary, you address it. If they ignore it, you leave. Healing helps you to see clearly without needing pain to convince you. You are able to have a hard conversation without shutting down. Healing equips you to be honest, even when it's hard, guys. You can express needs, navigate conflict, and stay grounded. You no longer fear honest, you welcome it. You are not afraid to be seen. You've accepted your flaws and embrace your story. You are no longer performing for love. You show up as you feel. Messy, whether you're feeling messy, beautiful self, and let real connection happen, guys. You're not really trying to fit in with anyone. I'm unapologetic. You become the woman that this man wants, and this man comes to you, and you feel whole whether someone stays or leaves. Love becomes a gift, not a lifeline. If someone chooses you, it's beautiful. If they don't, it doesn't destroy you. You trust that you are enough either way. Because guys, people are not meant to make us feel enough. Attracting love from holiness, you attract what you involve. You have to feel that love. You're no longer chasing space. You are peace. You no longer beg for loyalty. You are loyal to yourself. Healing transforms your energy, and your energy attracts your mirror. You don't settle for potential. Who are your potential? Who is your potential, guys? You don't settle for that. You stop dating who someone could be somebody. You choose people who show up now without maturity, integrity, and reciprocity. So you choose who you want. And most of all, if God has a hand on it, guys, you live a happy life. You are no longer threatened by emotional intimacy. You're no longer afraid of being deeply known. How healing helps you to let love in without the fear of being rejected for your truth. You no longer confuse drama with desire. Family comes with drama. Am I going to be liked? Is my husband's siblings, are they going to like me? Is my father-in-law going to like me? Is my mother-in-law going to like me? You have to be okay. When you fully go through healing, you are okay. Even when people don't like you, you become okay because it is not your job or whatever for them to change people how they feel about you. Your job is to love you and love God and accept you for who you are and love God's children. For me, I realize that I have to love myself. I have to love people around me, but I have to be okay if someone comes and judge me. I have to be okay because everyone has authority, has a right to choose who can be around them. They choose who they like, people choose who they don't. So I'm no longer in a place where I have to ask myself, who does that person think they are? For them telling me they don't like me. I don't have that mindset anymore. For my mindset is you take me as I am. Unapologetic, this is Nomsa. This is Nomsa, this is who I am. This is what makes me. I'm no longer wanting to try to fit in with no one. If you don't like what you see, I'm okay with it. Not because I'm a relationship coach, because I'm just a child of God who loves God's children. If a man comes to my life, he treats me right. He treats me with respect. If he does not treat me with respect, he goes. I'm not going to get into depression for someone else's trauma. Because if you're bullying me, that means you have to deal with your own trauma. So we all have our own trauma that we carry, guys, in life. So that's important. You no longer confuse drama with desire. The adrenaline of toxic love is no longer attractive to you. You crave softness, stability, emotional safety. That's what healing does. It recalibrates what feels like love. You know, love is a mirror, not a medicine. The partner is not a healer. They reflect your healing. They won't save you, but they will hold space for you to continue growing. You set boundaries from love, not fear. You say not to punish, but to protect your peace. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors that filter out what isn't for you. You don't just want love, you are ready for it because you've done the work. You've sat in the silence. You faced your shadows. And now you are not looking to be complete, to be completed. You are looking to connect, honey. You're looking to love. Close, like healing doesn't have to break you again. Healing before dating is about being perfect. It's not about being perfect, sorry guys. It's about being conscious, whole and emotional honest. When you heal, you stop using love as a medicine and start experiencing it as a mutual and safe. Take your time. You are not behind. You are just building a foundation that can actually hold the kind of love you've always desired. So I don't know, guys, what you guys go through when it comes to love. I don't know. But all I know is when you are looking for love, don't give up finding true love. Don't say, you know what, I'm not good enough, or I'm not this, therefore I can't find the true love. Yes, you can. You can find the true love. Only you has to actually help you find that true love. Only you have to accept yourself for what God has given you in life, for who you are as a person, and be that person that you want to be. And know that create the foundation of love that you want. And that is important. And honor your husband. If you find a beautiful husband, if you find a beautiful wife, when you talk about beauty, it's inside. What's on the inside of a person is greater than what's on the outside. If you find a beautiful wife, honor that woman, honor that man, enjoy life, and live like today is your last day. Every single day, live as if today is your last day. That's how you need to live your life. People around me, I don't have time to tell people off anymore. But before I'll get angry, thinking that if I get angry, I'll solve this, I'll solve that, but I don't. I put everything in God's hands and I sit back and I watch. I sit back and I watch. If you're watching from social media, guys, any part of social media, YouTube, please do subscribe to our channel. And Twitter, please do follow. And on Facebook, please do. We have two groups, Unique Billionaire Mindset and Gossip Talk Shows, and please do join. And if you're looking for love, please do go to the website and sign up. If you're looking to find your own voice, please do sign up. For me, I'm a Christian. And so if you're looking for that kind of a coach, you know where to find me. And I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear when it comes to life. Life is a game. You have to know how to play it in order to find your happiness when it comes to love. And love, if you make it simple, you get it. But if you complicate, you find it hard to connect. So God bless everyone. Live with grace. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday.